Hey, what's up, dude? Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm using my regular headphones because I found out that depending on how long these go, AirPods don't last, forever. So I'm going old school. I got the corded headphones in there. So.
Oh shoot, I'm on earpods, so let me know if I cut out and at least text me. I'll probably know if something happens. But
yeah, no, it's you. All right, man. So so this is the first ever episode of my Jobs Not Dead podcast. I kind of started it in the aspect of, I met a lot of people over making, I run Black Smoke Sticker Co. and met a lot of cool guys, gals, making products for the service, building morale, doing X, Y, and Z, and just doing things above and beyond, not just going to work, running calls, doing those kind of things. People that are actually adding something, leaving a little bit of a legacy. So want to restore a little bit of faith in the job and highlight all these businesses that are doing really good. So, go for it, man. Tell me whatever you want to talk about your about the product, about how you started, about what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and whatever you want to talk about, man.
Cool. Well, hey, first of all, thanks so much for having me on the show. Super excited to do this. This is my second only podcast. Did one a week or two ago and really liked it, and it was a cool way to connect with the community and the listeners out there, as well as share what I'm all about, what I'm doing. I think we met on Instagram.
Yep.
We were following each other, and I think it started by you sent me a meme that you had made about the Williams key, and we'll get more into what the Williams key is, and just wanted to kind of give a little background about how we met, and we've been talking the last few months, and now we talk pretty much daily, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's really cool kind of seeing your journey and how fast you've been growing and how much people love you and your page. And I was drawn to that about you as well. And I'm also a huge, huge sticker fan. Like, I got stickers everywhere. So for somebody you made a couple hundred stickers at this point, right?
Something around there. I gotta tell people, I was talking to one guy about it. I was like, man, you just keep cranking stickers out. And I said, man, you don't even see like 90% of the ones that I make. I don't even post probably 80% of what I actually come up with, because I'm a perfectionist. If I don't like something, the way something looks, if it doesn't feel natural for me, I won't post it. Like if I feel like I'm having a drought or if I have to force the design, and you could tell, you could see it, and it's funny. Like there's some of them that I posted before that are a little, they don't have that same flair, and people, you'll get maybe half the amount of likes or whatever, and you're like, okay, see, don't force it. Designs are like a fart. If you got to force it, sometimes it's probably shit. So, yeah, man. Probably a couple hundred stickers here and there.
Yeah, and that's crazy. You're just like a machine when it comes to that. So I think your mind works differently than most of ours. Really, it's just very funny in the way that you can capture humor and mix it in with the fire service as well. And
that's another thing too, is that it's hard for and you'll see it all the time if you go on Amazon and look up firefighter stickers or firefighter T-shirts. They got the generic whatever, we fight what you fear, that kind of cheesy emergency cringe style stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, there's no way that somebody that works in the service would ever, one, wear that, two, whatever would make that. That's something you find at the gas station, in the middle of nowhere, and you get it for your uncle who's a firefighter and you don't have another gift for him. So I think being in the service and, knowing what people like, and also people send me requests all the time, and just able to, if one person has the request, somebody else probably enjoys just as much. If someone wanted, Steve Irwin with the fire helmet, people love that. So, if you have, this kind of goes for anybody. If you ever have a request, just send it over, we'll make it happen. But, I think that's a huge part of it is being authentic and being, and doing the job, and that's how you connect and make these, how you make it better,
Yeah. Exactly. I think we're kind of at a tipping point in the fire culture where there's more and more people on social media, more and more people connecting with each other, And just being able to capture kind of like that pop culture humor is starting to be like really cool. And I'm really happy to see people like you out there who are making things that, you know, we're just not used to seeing in the fire service. And it's a good thing. It's like, it's a good change, I would say. And it's getting a lot of people's attention. So kudos to you for doing what you're doing, man.
And I'm gonna extend the same kudos to you too. And I was thinking about this the other day before, you know, we were talking about other podcasts and having you on, and kind of the aspect of your product and stuff like that. We'll get into it, but I think the biggest thing is the way you showcase it, essentially, and the engravings and adding that little flair of culture to it, like, you know, putting basically, say like what you do with my key, you know, you put my logo on there. I mean, that thing's my, you know, and I think there's something to be said about what you do, and we can get into your product now if you'd like, and I think that's awesome what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah. So let me explain the Williams key. So my name is Trevor Williams. Williams key is based off my last name. It's kind of funny when we were talking. You're like, "Hey, so what's your last name anyway?" And I'm like, "Well, it's Williams."
Yeah.
So Williams key is a firefighter tool, police tool, military tool for gaining soft entry into the doors without doing damage. So I try to explain it to people more like a lock picking device versus a Halligan. It's not meant for prying. You can definitely damage it if you don't use it correctly, but it's a really quick and efficient, sweet tool when it works. And it works a lot. So the way that it works is if you're looking at a door, the latch or the throw on a lock, I call it a strike. I have a background in doors, so I used to be a commercial carpenter installing doors. That's kind of where my I guess that's kind of where this tool spawned from a little bit. Just knowing how to see through a door and see through a lock. I kind of have X-ray vision a little bit when it comes to sizing up a door. So just knowing how all those components work together helped me develop the Williams key. So the way it works is it's as thin as a ruler, and it has a curve to it, and that curve slides behind the throw of the lock and pushes it out of the way. So there's no damage done. It's very clean, and it allows you to open up the door. It works better on a door that swings towards you. We call that an outward swinging door. But depending on the door, because there's thousands of doors out there, thousands of locks, it also works on some inward swinging doors as well. In the fire service, we use it daily. I work in West Hollywood in California, and we have a lot of apartment complexes, a lot of commercial buildings, and most of these structures are protected by a gate that swings outward. So that's like the go-to bread and butter. It's super easy when you're trying to get into a gate, and then there's like tons of more applications for it. But getting that initial entry, it just makes it really clean. And it's been cool to see the way that different departments and different stations have been carrying it. It's a little awkward to keep in a turnout pocket. It's doable for sure, but we see guys throw it in their axe scabbards. A lot of people put it in their EMS boxes, and I know not every department carries EMS boxes or police, but that's like a pretty good receptacle for it. It fits well in there. We see people put magnets on stuff. It's made out of steel, so it sticks well to magnets. And yeah, people drill holes in it, put on carabiners, all sorts of stuff. So we're continuing to develop the product. The standard size is 12 inches long, and then it has a 8-inch handle, which also has some function to it as a shove knife. But we came out with a 30-inch. We call it the Triple XL Magnum. So it's obviously a lot bigger. It's about 3 times the size. And then a few days ago, we came out with a 35-inch, so even 5 inches longer than the Magnum, which allows for really getting into those hard-to-reach gates where there's it's called an anti-vandal plate. It's like a metal weld that covers up the reveal in the door, and the reveal is the area you're able to visualize that strike. So when that's covered up, Triple XL Magnum sometimes comes into play, and it's able to reach over the entire door, depending on the scenario. So we got that, and
yeah, just real quick. Let's see, 2 or 3 days ago, we used it on a wellness check. So I don't know if that's just kind of one of those things where I thought it was funny. I meant to tell you about it, that we had so and so hadn't seen their neighbor in X amount of time, and there was no identifiable address. It's not like the house was on fire and like that. So we didn't want to crack the guy's door down. So I pulled my I've had him shown up at the firehouse, and one of my senior guys was like, "Hey, let me see that thing you got there," and I was like, kind of explained to him, what it was and stuff. And he used it, and we found the one on the back door, and we, popped the door open that way. Turns out the guy was just, sleeping. So he was really PO'd that we were inside of his house, but, grateful that we didn't knock the door down. So I thought that was a little cool tidbit for you, and something that people think about, hey, on wellness checks, somewhere where you don't want to crack a door down and get really invasive, but you need to get in there. That's something that's more, we don't have a lot of, I'm in the Midwest, we don't have a lot, or where I'm at specifically, my district, we don't have a lot of, we have some apartment complexes, but nothing's gated. That's a bit heavy duty for our style. But yeah, we got a lot of, we have majority of our stuff is residential. We have some business stuff, but probably 90 to 80, probably 95% of our stuff is residential. And yeah, that's something that people can think about too. That if maybe you're not in California and have a lot of things, but everybody's got a door that they need to get into at some point. A residential door is kind of a bread and butter of the fire service getting in there, and that's just another thing tidbit I figured I'd throw in there. Give a little shameless plug for you there.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing. It is really cool to see how everybody uses it differently. I get videos and pictures almost every day of people excited to use it. Once you see it work, it's almost contagious. Like the people around you are like, "Oh, I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool." So the tool kind of sells itself, and yeah, like I don't know about you, but for us, we've for sure kicked in doors that are the wrong house. Like
oh yeah.
How bad is it where you get the address wrong, or somebody calls in a call, but it's not their house. They're just concerned for somebody else, like a welfare check, like what you just went on.
Or if you got an angry ex-girlfriend that wants to get into the house to get her stuff back, but it's not really her stuff. How about one of those?
Yeah, exactly. And all these scenarios happen. So it just makes it so much worse when you get into a house, you've done a lot of damage. Like I said, I used to install these doors. They cost thousands of dollars when you damage them. So how bad is it when you cause thousands of dollars worth of damage to somebody who was not even supposed to be involved in the call, and it's totally the wrong house. So this tool helps us avoid those really awkward and sometimes sad conflicts where we did all this damage to a person who can't afford to fix their door.
Oh yeah. And also, the security of having a door, even to talk about the money, you can't fix the door overnight. Like say you break it down at 2:00 in the morning, the person's gonna have to live without a door for a little bit, and that's not good. That's not what we're in the service for. We're here to make the world better,
Exactly, and it saves us time on both ends. Like you can get in the door quick, and then you don't have to spend time trying to secure their door. And hey, go get the hammer and nails, and let's find some wood and see if we can restructure the door frame we just destroyed. So it just makes calls go a lot smoother, a lot quicker, and everybody's happy. But so the other cool thing is This tool has gone out to almost all 50 states. I thought it was 50 states until I started really like, pulling up all my orders and stuff. And I'm missing 3 states right now. I got South Dakota, Delaware, and Iowa are the states I haven't shipped to yet. So if you're out there listening, you're from these states, hit me up. We'd like to hit all 50 states.
Absolutely,
that'd
be
a little
huge
discount, yeah. So that, and then
also you guys,
too.
yeah, you guys hit 8,000 followers, yeah.
Today, yeah, we hit 8,000 followers.
Heck yeah.
The following has been amazing. It's been so exciting to watch it grow. I made the account a few months back. So the Williams Key, I've been developing it for years and years, and it's something that I had just made for myself, and guys started seeing me use it on scene and wanted it. And it's not like it's not a fast tool to make, so for me to just make 1 or 2 for a buddy, it's like pretty time consuming. So I started looking into how to mass produce these and help out the guys that I work around. And that's how this all started. They became very popular. And all of a sudden people were like, hey, I'll pay you for one. I need 5 of them. They're cheap enough. I sell them cheap enough to where, if you break one or lose one, it doesn't hurt the bank too much. And so a lot of guys will get more than one. Guys will get them for gifts for their whole crew. So it's not uncommon to see like large purchases of 10 or 50. I just got a 500 key inquiry last week. So yeah, it's really growing fast. But the following on social media, just been so cool to watch. And one of the things I love about it is it connects me with like-minded people that are firefighters and police and, everybody interested in public safety and serving others. These are the types of people I get to talk to on the daily. And I'll even like initiate the conversation sometimes. Once I make a tool, I'll send them a picture because we didn't quite touch on it yet, but well, you kind of mentioned it. Like I do these custom engravings for the tools. So I put guys' names on it. I put their logos. And I think that's like the personal touch that people really like about the key. So I'll try and send out a photo. Like I think text nowadays is the quickest way to communicate with people. And when somebody orders it, include their phone number. So instead of an email or whatnot, I'll shoot them a quick text with a photo of their customized tool. And that kind of gets the conversation started a lot of these times. And I like talking to people. And
yeah, I think the engraving part is what makes it, like you said, more special and adds a little more to, it just makes it more funner to have. It's one of those things like if you spend $10 on a pair of sunglasses and they break or you lose them, no issue. But you spend money on this key, it's got my name on it, it's got my logo, it's got my company pride. You take a little more care of it, you appreciate it more,
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like you said, you take pride in it. Fire service, we try and put our names on everything because stuff gets mixed up. We all have the same gear that matches. And so, yeah, being able to customize it helps that way. It makes it more giftable. So if you want to get it something nice for a friend, I think people definitely love the customizable stuff. And it definitely makes my job harder because sometimes I'll get backed up like 50 different custom orders, and each one takes me a little bit of time. I got to figure out if I'm able to do the design and the logo. Some people want like special fonts that I have to go find. I'm not super savvy when it comes to this computer stuff, but I've been having to figure it out. And what's really been taxing my brain is setting up these laser engravers. I started out with just one, and it comes from China, and the motherboard in it doesn't work very well with the software that I want to use. So the motherboards have to be upgraded, and the wires, you got to look up wire diagrams, and there's a heat exchanger that there's water that pumps through a system. There's smoke going out, so it's a pretty involved system, and you have to have a computer for every engraver, and then it has to be calibrated and tested, and I end up messing up a lot of keys. I have like test keys that I use now, and I'll sell those off for cheaper once I'm done testing them with the machines. But I started out with one machine, and now I have three, two that work, and then a third one that I'm working on. But it's just been growing really fast. And
so everybody who gets these, understand this man puts a lot of time and love and effort into each one of these keys. It's not just throw into a machine, hit a button, and you call it done. There's a lot more that goes into just to get these keys, one, made, two, engraved, three, get them engraved in the detail that you put into them, which is insane. Like the new Only Goons one I got coming out with you for a new giveaway. I mean, it looks beautiful. It's picture perfect,
Yeah, so I do take a lot of pride in these things. If I print out a key and I'm not happy with it, like I won't send it out, or I'll definitely like check with the person who ordered it to see if they're okay with it. So yeah, and thank you for saying that, because I do put my heart into these things, and I'm pretty much a one-man shop. My wife helps too, but this has been growing at a faster rate than I've been able to keep up with. So every day off, I'm just figuring out the website, figuring out the marketing, figuring out the shipping, the next machine, the next order, what vendors am I using, stickers, hats, t-shirts, patches, we got all that stuff coming out. So it's been quite the ride, and I think it's going to continue to grow. At least I hope it does, because I'm having a lot of fun with it, figuring it all out.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it will. I think, like you said, we're in a rare time in this kind of social media being brought over. Because when I was growing, when I went to school and for the EMS or my EMT, paramedic, and fire academy, social media was a huge no-no. They were like, don't even. I deleted my Facebook when I was in EMT school because some kid got kicked out because he, he did something stupid, some HIPAA thing. He did something he wasn't supposed to do. But he got kicked out of the school because of social media. I'm like, man, I don't want that. This is my career, my livelihood. So I feel like there was a huge stigma as far as staying off of social media back in the day when it first came around. Now it's getting a little bit bigger, but now there's kind of almost this way where they're pushing a little bit too far into the, like the emergency cringe. Do you follow those guys?
Yeah, I think I do. Mm-hmm.
Where they basically they have the people on the TikToks making really, really silly, cringy stuff, making then the ironic part is that's kind of where I thought about that when they were saying, the job, they comment all the time, they say the job's dead. And sometimes I think that too, man. I'm like watching this, I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. They got, these people making TikToks and taking their shirts off and, come up to rocking house fires and, they're taking selfies. I'm like, what are you doing? So I think there's a little bit to be said about, the pros and cons of social media. And I think, like I said, what I want this podcast to be is to highlight the pros of it and to give these, these newer people coming into service, like, hey, don't go to a house fire and, do an Instagram Live. That's not what social media is used for. That's not okay. But if you want to make, a cool product, if you want to make a sticker, if you want to, be an advocate for, a charity, or if you want to do something like that, heck yeah, rock and roll and, do it. Like I said, there's that fine line between being, doing too much of the social media. So I think, like I said, we're on the right side of history when it comes to that aspect for sure.
Yeah, and I probably have some questions I want to ask you about that, but I will say, so like I've gotten in trouble for social media before as a fireman, and I have a background of having a kind of a larger following on my regular page. I got into Instagram when nobody knew about it. So I was able to grow my account over the last 10 years or so. So if I post something, a lot of people see it, and my department picks up on it sometimes. We have PIOs, which are public information officers, and they're the only ones that are supposed to be posting for our department or on behalf of our department. But yeah, guys have gotten in trouble. Guys have gotten fired for posting the wrong thing. And I can't go into detail. You guys can look it up if you want. But there was like a new law that just came out this week about social media in California, or at least in LA, in our area, where it's a misdemeanor to, like, I don't know, take pictures, and it depends on, I guess it ties in with HIPAA and whatnot, but they're really actually starting to crack down, like, from a legal, like, standpoint if you post the wrong thing. So there's a lot of power, especially if you have a lot of followers in social media, and we rely on our news sometimes from this stuff nowadays, and you have to be responsible, and you got to know, like, the impact that you're having. And
absolutely, and that's another thing too, is that you can't go through an EMT school without watching the hour and a half long HIPAA video, and I mean it's ingrained in your head, it's beat down, and you got to be very careful, like you said, that we are here for the community first. We're not here to make our social media grow. Our social media grows secondary to us doing what's best for the community. Me making, fun stickers to build camaraderie for, whoever, for you making these keys and engraving them, and, making the firefighter jobs easier, which then, like we kind of tied back to making the citizens, lives better, not busting doors open. So there is that fine line to where, there probably should be a little bit of a crackdown when it comes to social media. That way there isn't these, people you see on Emergency Cringe, going in, or in nursing homes, taking videos of Alzheimer's dementia patients. Like, that's fucked up, I mean, I'm not okay with that whatsoever, So I am kind of glad that they are cracking down. Look into that law for sure. So.
Yeah, there has to be a line. You can't just make videos for the views and the following because, oh my gosh, this is going to go viral because I can't believe what this person did. Like you said, the job's first, and we have a responsibility to the people that we serve. And then if we can have fun doing it in a good way and help other people, learn and grow and have fun as well, and maybe help with some mental health as well.
Absolutely.
Some of this
I have a podcast with the Outdoor Medic tomorrow on mental health. I'm looking forward to talking about that one. A good rule of thumb, though, I feel like with social media, for anybody listening that maybe doesn't know, that somebody that's brand new. I mean, I've talked to a couple people that are 20, 21. Brand spanking new, and that's their generation as they're growing up. TikTok and Instagram, and all this stuff. Fortnite, whatever it may be. This is what they're growing up in, so they don't understand the concept of, like, hey, you can get fired for this. Hey, this isn't cool. So, always a good rule of thumb is never. Use your own department's name or insignia in anything you do. That's not first and foremost, because if you're doing something outside of the job, you're representing yourself. But also be cognizant, you are representing your own district too, or your department, or that whatever too. So just keep that in mind. If you called 911 and you saw somebody doing, say you're gonna make a video about, you're gonna make a video of going to a house fire, and you think that's really cool, and think about looking at it from the other side, the other side of the double-edged or double-sided mirror. Would you want somebody coming to your house is on fire? Would you want somebody making a TikTok on the way in? And absolutely not. I mean, if you say yes, then you're either being a butthead, or you have no idea what the service is about. You should probably get a new job. So just keep that in mind. Always look at it from a bird's eye view, and never use your own department's names or anything like that too, because that's just I don't ever see that going positive for anybody when it comes to social media stuff. Hey, I work for this department, unless you're doing PR for the department, and in that case, like you said, it's probably a PIO, public information officer, that needs to be the one making those photos. I know at a couple places I worked at, they have guys that's their job. They are the PIO. So they do the photos. If you have a cool photo you want to do, or you have a good idea for something to highlight your department, or you say, you have a helmet cam footage of a house fire, and you're like, hey, we were, getting after it, this shows how good of a department we are. Send it over to your PIO. I'm sure they have no issues, using your stuff, but, there are proper chains and channels to do when it comes to social media, and I think people just need to just take a breather and realize, to follow those chains, and you can avoid a lot of issues.
Yeah, no, that's some good advice for some of the young listeners out there, maybe somebody new to the job who is just, not thinking things through all the way. It takes time to, develop those thoughts unless you're getting some good guidance. You need good mentors.
That's the hope for this podcast, is to be a little bit mentorship. And I'm 25, so I feel like I'm old, but I mean, compared to some of the people that I work with, and then some of the other people, they're like, hey, you're still a baby. So, I mean, I'm still learning. I mess up, here and there. You get a slap on the wrist, and you lick your wounds, and you learn from your mistakes. So, I mean, there's guys that have been on the job 30, 40 years that still will make a mistake. So just understand how to deal with those mistakes, and try to lay the foundation to avoid those mistakes the best you can. Like they say, always say, leave the job better than you found it, and that's kind of the what we're pushing for.
Yeah, this job will humble you very quickly. You can think you have it all together, and as soon as you make a mistake, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna hear about it. But the important thing is you adapt and overcome, right? Like we're all here to learn, be humble, and it's okay to make mistakes. Like it happens to everybody, even the guys who's been on 30 years, And if he has the mindset where, oh, I learned something today, I learned something new, or I shouldn't have done that, but I'm gonna fess up and take responsibility. Like that's really important. We get a lot of new guys to our station. My station has 13 guys per shift, and we train hard, we train a lot, and so they're always sending us some of the new probationary firemen. And I don't care if you have like ton of experience, if you came from another department, like you need to be teachable, and you need to be able to like play the game and do things our way. And I would say like most of the time, guys get that, and they're like, yeah, my background, my history, it doesn't matter. Like you can personally pull on that experience, but just be willing to learn the way from the guys who are trying to teach you. Like if you're receptive to the teaching, guys are going to want to teach you, and guys are going to like you. You're going to go a lot farther. So that's like a really important mindset, I think, especially for the new guys coming on the job.
Yeah, for sure. So, be careful. To wrap that section up. Be careful. If you don't know, if you're on the fence, like, hey, maybe I should or maybe I shouldn't post this. If you're ever unsure, probably say no. And if you want to post something, maybe ask somebody else. Maybe ask one of the senior guys, like, hey, would this be cool if I do this, or X, Y, and Z, or reach out to any of us on social media. I mean, all the people that I've talked to, from the bigger pages to the smaller pages, there's always a human behind those pages. So just reach out and ask us. No one's ever gonna. Some people may get back to you, some people may not because they're busy, but no one's ever gonna tell you to screw off. We all want to make the job a little bit better than when we found it. So always have that in the back of your head.
Yeah. Do you have you had any experience where you posted something on your like Black Smoke sticker page, and it rubbed somebody the wrong way, or you got an angry message, or was asked to take something down?
Very very far few in between. Give me 2 seconds real quick. Hold on 2 seconds, all right?
Sure.
Hey, so there.
Hey, yes I am.
Hey, sorry. So yeah, as far as I've had, like, as far as people getting upset about the specific design, or what do you kind of mean by that?
Maybe something where you posted something and you didn't realize either the impact that it had, or that, oh, I shouldn't have posted it for like this specific reason that I hadn't thought about before.
So one of my first designs, I had this photo that I what I do is I pretty much take these photos, I doctor them up, I add edits, I try to keep them as anonymous as possible. But one of the photos, was a newspaper article, their photo, and this is my first artist, so I didn't know that the about copyright laws or anything like that. I figured, hey, if I doctor this up enough, do X, Y, and Z, I'll have no issues. But there was an issue, and they messaged me and sent me a letter. Nothing intimidating, to say, this is ours. Could you please remove this? I was like, okay, no issue. But I've had, outside of that, no, most people, like the designs. The whole Corey Cares thing that I've been doing, I haven't had one person reach out to me and say, hey, this guy's a bad guy. I've had actually the opposite, and I've had, quite a few people, send me additional pictures of, hey, here's him, volunteering, teaching at a children's school for, high school juniors that want to be firefighters. Here's, him, with there was a child who had cancer that he got his own hat, his own fire gear. They had him up to the station. They had lunch, and the kid got to hang out. Dude's an incredible dude. That's in a podcast for another side. But something that my wife was like, hey, this may be controversial. He's in trouble with his department, X, Y, and Z. Kind of tread lightly with this. And I just kind of followed my own intuition, my own gut. And I was like, hey, this guy seems like a good guy. Talked to him on the phone before I kind of got too crazy with everything. And he's a very genuine guy, and he loves doing what he does. So like I said, just as far as people having issues with things I post, that's, like I said, that would be kind of one of the more risky things. Is, hey, he is in trouble with his department, and here I am advocating for this guy. So, but like I said, I've had nothing positive feedback from it, because it's I feel like the right thing always seems to outweigh any other negative, or hey, you shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. People know what is morally right versus what's on paper right or wrong. So I think that as long as you have a good heart and are doing things with the right intentions, I think you shouldn't have any issues. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
No, yeah, it does. And you've been doing a lot. Was there a GoFundMe? I know there's a change.org page. Did you make it, or you're promoting it?
Yeah, I made the petition. Yeah.
And that's pretty close to reaching its goal, right?
So I didn't set a goal on there. It was kind of a go for it goal. Okay. But I was shooting for 10,000. I don't know why in my head 10,000 seemed like a number that if I went to the news station, or if I sent it to the city council or the mayor and said, hey, there's 10,000 people that think that you guys messed up, you might want to take a look at this, versus a couple hundred, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000. Okay, that's not that big. But you have 10,000 people saying we want this guy back in this firehouse. I think that raises the stakes a little more. And we're at about 6,500 and some change.
Yeah, that's
and then
awesome.
Also with the Children's Burn Foundation. So he didn't lose any pay or anything like that. He just got demoted in rank. So I was initially wanted to raise money in case I needed to help cover his expenses while he adjusted to whatever. But like I said, his pay is okay. So I talked to him. I was like, hey, we've been making money for this for your cause. I was like, what do you want to do with it? Oh, just find a charity and we'll donate to it. I was like, okay. And I Googled, he took care of a burn child. So I was like, okay, burn children. And I Googled it, and then the Children's Burn Foundation came up, and that's kind of what we were rocking with. We got $1,500 sent into them so far. Same concept though. I think 10,000 is a awesome goal. If you get up to a certain dollar amount, you can get your name put on their website, and I would love to get to 10,000 and get Corey Britt's name on the website. So that's kind of my goal for that too. And just because he is such a good dude, and he epitomizes what we're supposed to do. Having his name up there, it shows, it sets an example. It sets a tone for younger guys coming in. Like, hey, yes, be careful, follow policy X, Y, and Z. Or if you're going to break policy, break it for a good reason. Break it because you're taking care of a child who was burnt and you waited over 25 minutes for an ambulance to show up. Break that policy. Don't break the policy that says, post a naked photo on social media at the firehouse. Don't do that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you got to pick your battles.
You got to pick your battles. So I think I said it's more than just, obviously it's about him as a person and trying to get him, back to his firehouse and do what we have to do. But I think it's more along the lines of the whole Danny Would Go situation. Hey, here are these guys doing, real life stuff. If you are in those situations, or me personally, if I was in that situation, I would hope that I have the nerve and the balls to do what, Danny would do, to go in with no partner. And I get that's a big no-no, but to go in and make a grab, regardless of whatever, that's a huge set of stones. Same concept with what, Corey Britt did. Hey, he knows you're not supposed to do this. You're going to get in trouble. It could risk your job, but hey, I'm doing this for my patient. Huge set of stones to do what those guys did. So I think that it's more or less, it's moved beyond, just the name helping this guy to, hey, this is, it's changing the culture. This is what we need out of our guys. And to help bridge that gap between brass and the guys on the floor, what's going on, and to bring that to light,
Yeah. I like it. I like that you're advocating for these guys. It's a great story. It is.
Yes, but it is a little risky, just because I doubt that if I ever went over to Oklahoma and applied that I could get a job. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'll survive. But like I said, I truly believe in my heart that he did what he was supposed to do. And and I was a little timid about it first. I'm like, hey, I don't know this guy. I don't know what the situation was. Like, there's more to the story, X, Y, Z. So I tried most of my research that I could, and I just kind of went with it. I was like, my heart and my gut, I feel like this guy did the right thing. This is what we're supposed to do. So went with that, and like I said, I've had nothing but positive things in this. Just daily, somebody will send me, hey, Corey Britt helped me out when I was going through some mental health issues. Hey, Corey helped me when my kid was sick. He threw me some, money for lunch money. We had a fire, and things were getting hairy, and he, pulled us out. He did X, Y, and Z. Just all these amazing things. I'm like, this guy can't get any better. I'm like, come on, like somebody send me, a bad thing about this guy, so I have, so I can at least have a little more, make it a little spicy, make it a little more controversial. But I can't find anything bad about this guy, and that's an awesome thing that. Here's a guy that's doing the work, that's doing what he's supposed to do, is kept his nose down and doing the job. And I think it just reaffirms, reaffirms what I've been doing for him. And I even talked to his mom on the phone the other day. I said, "You did a good job raising him." And she goes, "I know." So, just all the way, it's awesome. So
that's cool. Are you gonna have him on the show?
Yep, that's the plan. He's been busy moving and grooving. He's actually been doing a bunch of other shows. He's been getting in the podcast action more than I have. He's been on like a couple of them that are coming out soon. So he's been doing other podcasts, and then we've been trying to link up. So I'll have him on here eventually.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. Have you always been into like advocating for good causes, or is this something new that now that you have a good platform where people listen and you can reach a lot more people, or is it something you're finding more interest in?
So I'm glad you brought that up. So I've always been interested in, wanting to do good things. Obviously before, the sticker company, and that I really didn't have any kind of platform, to do. I've always wanted to do something better, wanted to give, do some kind of charity or anything like that, but I never had a platform for it. But even when I first started the sticker company, when I barely had, any followers, I was doing, there was a firefighter in Colorado, there was line of duty death, Ethan Grimes. you know, there was that, and I wanted to do something. I was like, I can make a sticker. I can, you know, I had no idea. I wasn't making my own stickers. I was sending them out to other companies, you know, because I didn't know how to do anything. I was like, hey, you know, let me try to help. Let me, you know, there's a GoFundMe up. Either donate to the GoFundMe or, you know, you pay $5 for the sticker and I'm going to give all the proceeds over there. You know, I don't want any money. I don't need money. I'm doing, you know, I got my job. I'm doing okay. I want to be able to help, you know, somebody in need. So I did that. There was another line of duty death that I helped out with that kind of thing. And I've reached out to other people. You know, some people never got back to me because, you know, it was a couple hundred followers and they didn't pay really much attention to it. It's no issue. But I was like, hey, you know, I can make a design. You know, you can have it, do what you want with it, and put it on a sticker, put it on a T-shirt. So, you know, now that I've kind of gotten to this platform to where it's a little bigger, I feel like I can have more reach. But that's always been one of my goals, is to be able to give back just as much as I get. You know, keep it to that ratio, and I think that's a good way to live. You know, it's to just sit there and to not give back is kind of a poopy way to live, especially given our professions. Our jobs are to give back to the community. So why not, you know, do that with the platform that I have? So, yeah, there's that.
Nice. I love it. I like the mission. I like what you're all about.
So
I actually have a nonprofit, and I can talk about that if you want, or you got some more on your end.
No, you go for it. Talk about your nonprofit. Like I was saying, yeah, go for it.
Well, this could turn into a longer story. I don't know how much time you have.
I got about, let's see, 13 minutes, give or
13.
take. So.
Okay. I will give a brief summarized version.
And we can always do a part two, man. We can always do a part two. We can call it a part one and call it a day. We're also recording this on Valentine's Day, so make sure everyone gives their special attention to their significant others.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
So we always
forgot.
do a part two. We can do. Yeah, I know. Make sure everybody's listening to this to hear that. Yeah, man, we could do a part two and get more into the nonprofit aspect. I just want to kind of give a brief overview of who you were, and I think we did a good job with that. Definitely going to have you on again soon, and I'll send you a message about it. But any closing remarks for this one?
No, I would love to do a part two. Love to get back on the show, and I'm excited to see all the growth and all the good that comes out of this podcast and your page and everything you're all about. Really happy to be able to have connected.
Your Instagram handle, your Facebook, whatever you are, how can people get a hold of you if they want a Williams Key?
Yeah, so if you want a Williams Key, we are on most of the social media platforms. The biggest one would be Instagram. So Williams Key at Instagram, or the Williams Key. That's our Instagram. And then our website would be just williamskey.com.
All right. And, yeah, if everybody wants a key or reach out, go look on their stuff. Me and him got a giveaway coming up with my the Goon Shit Only podcast that I got going on with that whole aspect. We got a key coming out. There's a radio strap, some stickers, some patches. It'll be a good time. So stay tuned for that. Go give those guys a follow. And, yeah, well, I will I'll shoot you a text message, man. It was great having you on, and I will talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Brandon. We'll see ya.
See you, buddy. Bye.